This week, I made the Kryptonian Key from Man of Steel. Hi everyone, welcome back to the City Aperture channel. My name is Jose and I go by City Aperture. And this week I did another 3D printing project. And this time I 3D printed, here it is, the Kryptonian Key from the movie Man of Steel. Take a look at it, I'll have some photos of it after I finish it up. But this is another project I downloaded from Thingiverse. It was from a user named EcoGeeko. It's a very straightforward model, easy to print. It wasn't, well, as I walk you through it, you'll see it wasn't the cleanest of print, but it's still finished rather nicely. You can see real close there how it, still does look like it's made of steel. So, yeah, just jump right into it and we'll see how it's made and we'll talk about it at the end. So here you can see just how rough the print was. It's printed in ABS, but the supports left a little markings behind, and I know the 3D printer just didn't do a great job. It's quite rough, so we started sanding it a little bit here. I already put a coating of some filler, so just trying to even it out, get rid of all the print lines, get rid of some of that roughness. And here I'm using some small files I have just to get into the smaller areas and the flatter areas that I didn't trust the sandpaper with. Finally, a little quick buff. This is actually a little sponge that's used for nails, but it gives it a bit of a shine so that I can see where it needs more sanding. But ultimately, I'm going to spray it with some filler primer. Here, I'm just going to put it on a stand, and this is the filler primer that I like to use. You can get it at Walmart, you can get it at a couple other stores. And here, after the filler primer, you can sort of see where there's still some spots that need filling, need more sanding. That's a great thing, is when you hit it with the primer, you can really see the spots that need more sanding or more filling. And this is the air drying putty that I use to fill small holes. Anything bigger than this, you want to use more of a Bondo, or you can mix some baby powder with super glue. After another round of sanding, I hit it with a black gloss paint. Here you can see how it looks. I always like to hit it with a black gloss paint before I do the metal, which is the metal coat here. It's just a gunmetal finish. Hard to tell, but okay, so here we have the Kryptonian Key, and you can see it's really shiny right now. So we are gonna start darkening it up a little bit. I've got, put that in there. I got some acrylics. I got some acrylics over here that we're gonna use to give it highlights after we darken it. But yeah, we're just gonna jump in with a really cheap paintbrush. Got a couple of them actually. These are so cheap, I got them at IKEA, that's how cheap they are. But let's start darkening it up. And it's just a matter of taking the acrylic paint and just putting it all over the piece and then wiping it off. The longer you leave it on, the more it'll darken. And it also gets deep into the little crevices. So, that was one coat, then I put another one. This one I'm putting more on the flat area, so I'm going to leave it on for a little longer and then take it off. The top, really getting into those deeper areas. So there you can see how much darker it is now. Okay, so now I have really darkened this thing. You can really see how much of the shine's out of it. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to hit the edges with the brush to give a couple of highlights, and then we'll call it done. Well, we'll seal it and we'll call it done. I'm going to use this guy right here. This is acrylic as well, and it's a nice bright silver, so we'll go from there. And here's the dry brushing, just sort of getting a couple of highlights. You put a lot of paint on the brush and then you just sort of wipe. Well, in this case I'm using a paper towel, but you get a lot of the paint off of it. Here you can see the finished piece with some highlights. And then just a matter of sealing it. This is my favorite polyurethane. And here you see the finished piece. You can see the wear on it now. It doesn't look like a freshly finished aluminum piece or anything like that. There you go, guys. That is how I made my version of the Kryptonian Key from the Man of Steel. There it is, all the way around. Found another fun 3D printing project, and I'm really liking doing some of these 3D projects from Thingiverse. They're a lot of fun. They're easy. You just download the project, print, and go through the whole steps like I showed you. But yeah, that's it for this week. Hopefully you guys like this. If you do, like the channel, subscribe, all that stuff. And I'll see you guys next week with another project. If you guys like this project, then maybe you'll enjoy the podcast that I do with my two colleagues, Claudia and Ray. We discuss purpose-driven design, making, and manufacturing. We talk about architecture. We talk about all sorts of making. We have a project of the week. So yeah, please check it out. Again, it's called The Made Podcast. Thanks so much.